Let's talk about Pluto. I'm a real video essayist now. I even have the pretentious drink drinking. Pluto is a demon hound introduced in Black Butler Season 1. He is able to turn into a gigantic fire-breathing wolf and an average-sized fire-breathing beachy boy. He does not speak, he barks, he runs around on all fours, and he's considered one of the worst fucking characters in the entire series.
I find him disgusting.
But my gosh, do I fucking hate Pluto. This fucking dog pretty much breaks the series, if I'm being honest.
I think Pluto's inclusion was very weird.
He's like this gross naked man who thinks he's a dog.
And you could make the argument that it did fit within season 1, but I remember when I was first watching it, it was very confusing.
How young were you when you first saw him?
Like 13 or 14?
Yeah. He's considered a part of the servants. His design is kinda like if someone fused a beta version of Snake with one of the beastie furries from the Emerald Witch arc, and he's also named after the Roman god of death, but also he's named after the beloved Disney dog Pluto, making him the protagonist of, I don't know, Twisted Wonderland or some shit. I never played that game. Most of the cast seems to tolerate him, though they're all mildly uncomfortable. Finny in particular attaches to him because he gets some kind of kinship from the mistreated animal, and oh my god, poor Finny. He's also the only animal that Finny can roughhouse with without accidentally killing, so I think Finny just has a lot of experiences with wolves. And then, okay, Pluto betrays the main cast in the final act by setting fire to all of London, and it turns out he's actually working for Ash and Angela and the Queen, similar to Drossel. So yeah, reluctantly, the servants all kill him, and he doesn't appear in Season 2, forever in our hearts and nightmares. So, what the fuck was his deal? I mean, come on. Here we have a demon, a whole ass demon. There are 10 demons in all of Black Butler. Sebastian, Claude, Hannah, Thompson, Canterbury, Timber, Ciel, Ashtila, Kirito, and Pluto. And while basically every other character minus Kirito has had their time of day, most people want to pretend Pluto never existed. With the new season coming out, it's time for us to bury the past and push onwards, correct? So I'm gonna tell a story about myself and my lineage. I am of Scottish descent. Several generations back, probably in the 1600s, I had a relative. He had a castle up in Scotland. He had a lot of money. He might have been an earl. I don't entirely know, but he was definitely a sir. And he was very respected. And anyway, he died. He was dead. He was gone. And a bunch of people wanted to take his money. The only issue is he's dead. So he can't give it to them. So what they did, they went to his gravesite, they dug up his corpse, which had been in the ground for 9 to 12 years, and they hauled him into court and sued him for everything he was worth, making a mockery of a decrepit corpse, and took all of his money. And that's what I plan to do to Pluto. Who is Pluto? What is Pluto? Is this a character? Or just an excuse for the writer to incorporate their poorly disguised fetish? Welcome to Demon Power Scaling, where I'm about to ruin any power scaling bro's day by taking a rock, paper, scissors approach to a very nuanced discussion. Probably one of the worst power scaling things you have ever seen, ever. Okay, I'm gonna try and determine how strong Pluto is. So let's put some ground rules. Alright, so Sebastian is the most powerful character in Black Butler, so he's gonna go all the way up in the god tier. He's a demon, he's a god, and anything that, for the rules, anything that has beaten him in a fight will go above him, anything he has beaten in a fight will go below him, and anything that he managed to kind of hold his own against will go slightly below him. So, he defeated Claude. So Claude put up a Season 2 length fight, so, Claude's down in the mid tier. So Claude's over here. Hannah was actually able to trick Sebastian. I know, this is the whitest picture of Hannah I think there is. Sorry, ma'am. But Hannah was able to defeat Sebastian and Claude and, turn Ciel into a demon. And they were helpless to stop her. They couldn't just go up there and beat her up. So she's actually a level up demon Ciel. Sebastian, even though he's a demon, so he'd be stronger than a human. He would probably be, he can keep Sebastian from killing him. I don't think Sebastian can kill him. And he's also got Sebastian's power because Sebastian will do whatever he says. So he's also in God tier. We have regular CL. He'd die if, his bathwater was a little too cold. And then we've got the Undertaker, who's one of the few characters who actually managed to deal a pretty big blow against Sebastian. So he's going up in God tier 2. Which brings to mind Grell. Grell was able to hold up a pretty good fight against Sebastian, but in the end he defeated her. But she was also able to fight the Undertaker pretty well. So I'm gonna put her in this kind of middle area. She almost fought Claude, but they didn't fight. And she also was actually able to defeat Hannah in a situation where Hannah was actually trying to fight. So, you know what? I think that's going to knock Hannah down a little bit. Hannah's only strong in circumstance, and Grell is superior. And it feels wrong having Demon CL be up here. So, you know what? He's gonna get a little exception. I'm gonna make him tiny and put him in Sebastian's hand. No, actually, no. I'm just gonna kill him. No more. And we have the triplets. Grell defeated the triplets, and Sebastian also pretty easily defeated the triplets. And the triplets do what Claude says, I'd assume, out of fear, so they're gonna be in the middle area. And then we have Agony. Agony was able to go hand in hand with Sebastian. They were able to fight pretty well. Agony's still a human. Agony's still no, so he's not so powerful. But I think because of the right hand of Kali, he'd be able to match up against Claude. I mean, he was able to fight Sebastian. He was able to hold his own against Sebastian. And if not for the fact that he's a human, he'd be able to win against Sebastian. Now we have the Bizarre Dolls. They're slightly stronger than CL because, CL's a little wimp. He's a little human. We have Eloise as, I know technically they're dual. Eloise got stabbed, but he only got stabbed because he got tricked. So I think in the zombie apocalypse, Eloise would do slightly better than CL, while still being firmly in the little guy category. Now if you see all we have left, Drossel was able to defeat the children, but he was very quickly destroyed by Sebastian, so he's gonna be in this area over here. Edward was also defeated by Sebastian, but he was able to defeat CL, so he's gonna be in this area here where, I think he has a moment where he tries to use his ghost power, but then it fizzles out. So unlike Drossel, who can consistently use his power, whatever that power is, Edward's got a bit of a weakness, so he's going a bit lower. And then we have Elizabeth. She's really strong. She's able to defeat the Bizarre Dolls, so she will be up here. I think Manga Elizabeth probably could have obliterated Drossel. Ash and Angela held their own pretty nicely. I'm trying to find where okay, there they are, Ashla. They were, honest to God, one of the few villains that I think was genuinely on the same level as Sebastian. Since he had to go into his demon mode to defeat them, and they managed to get some hits in. Maybe a little bit lower, but they're at about the same level. And now we have Pluto. Okay, well, we know Sebastian was able to defeat Pluto, so he's definitely in some area below here. But he's also able to, he's obviously stronger than CL. He doesn't directly fight Drossel. Who I forgot to add, are probably, together, they're a bit stronger than Lizzie. I don't think the servants could, I don't think Lizzie could destroy the entire circus troupe. So Pluto is going to be kind of around, I don't want to cover up Claude. Actually, no, I do want to cover up Claude, so he's right over here. So I know this looks really indistinct. Claude's hidden. It looks a little indistinct, so I'm just going to mark everyone up with a little line to show where they are. So CL is here, Eloise is higher, Lizzie's higher, Bizarre Doll's over here, Hannah's over here, Grell's over here, Grell's over here, Undertaker's over here, Sebastian's here, Ashtila's here, Agnes here, Claude's here, Pluto's here, and Edward's here. And then if we just remove everyone, that didn't make a whole lot of fucking sense, but the point I was trying to make is Pluto is he's a lesser demon. in the sense that all the other demons are up here in the big boys league, and he's down here with the little guys. So, sucks to suck, Pluto. At least you can set things on fire. He's got a bit of a sparse little wall on the TV tropes page, which, I mean, that makes sense. He's kind of, I don't know how I feel knowing that there's elements of Pluto that have escaped into the wider narrative of tropes and television, but yeah, he's there. I'm going through Pluto's fandom wiki right now. They did not mention his powers. He's basically, if you can imagine like a 30-foot tall wolf, and imagine what a 30-foot tall wolf could do, Pluto could do that. And breathe fire. We don't actually know if he can make contracts, and we actually also don't know why he follows Ash and Angela. We'd have to assume it might have something to do with the fact that Angela slept with him at one point, which, ugh. And now, that is specifically why I'm talking about this.
Hey, how y'all? Get your fucking dog, bitch! It don't bite. Yes, it do!
Enough being around the bush. Here's the real thing I wanted to make this whole video about. And, if you'll let me put on my little game theory hat, does Pluto actually have the mind of a dog? Does he? Is that a man with the mind of a dog, or a dog with the mind of a man? How conscious is Pluto? What level of wrong is he on? Because, okay, animals cannot consent. I should not need to say that. And if he has the mind of a dog, then that just, you'd assume that would make the scene with him and Angela like 10 times more wrong than any other wrong thing that's happened in the series, or at least in that season. So, yeah, that's a dog. She's fucking angry. But is Pluto a dog? Is he? I know, he's a demon, but we've also had almost canon confirmation that he does have the mind of a dog. But, I don't know, I say no to that. I reject that reality, and I want to go a bit deeper. Pluto acts like a dog. He doesn't want to wear clothes. He has canine mannerisms. He eats dog food. But people can do that too. People can do all of that. And we gotta know, before he's a dog, he's a demon. He's a demon first. He's a demon first and then a dog. He's a demon dog. So how does that translate? And also, he appears to have a crush on Sebastian. Grell is also attracted to him, which, no comment. And I think we'd all have a better, time with season 1, especially in retrospect, if we just got all this stuff out in the open, like, had a little bit of group therapy over whatever the hell was going on with Pluto. So I want to discuss that, and I'm gonna be Pluto's lawyer. I'm gonna be Pluto's lawyer, and I'm going to say Pluto didn't do anything wrong. He's just really weird. That point I just made is almost immediately denied by the actual, series, because one of the big iconic Pluto scenes is in the doll arc when they're, looking for Elizabeth after she's captured, and Ciel and Pluto for some reason are off in the city trying to track down a scent, and there's this scene where we see this mangy little poodle slink out of an alleyway, and Pluto just runs after it, and Ciel says,
I do have to start looking for a mate now!
which is really concerning, because, so either Pluto is mentally a dog who had sex with a human, or Pluto is mentally a man who wants to, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm on my Pluto apologist arc. Who's to say Ciel actually knew what was going through his mind? Maybe he just got excited because this dog is also secretly a demon, just like him. Yeah, fanfic writers get on that. Maybe we have number 11 on the demon chart. Maybe he missed having other dogs around from the fucking dog arc. Like, there were dogs everywhere. And he wasn't shown to be weird about them. He kind of kept to himself away from them. So maybe he was just excited that there was, someone like him. It's gotta be a little scary to be in a situation where not only are you on your own, but you're also away from basically everyone you know, and also the demon that's watching over you. You're a demon, sure, but there's a demon watching over you and he's an even more powerful demon. And you really want to get on his good side, but like whatever you do, you just fumble around and fail. So, you know, seeing something familiar in a shape you recognize I get a little excited too. I mean, his face is a little blushy, and obviously the joke is, haha, he wants to be made some poodle off the street, but I reject that joke. No fun allowed. What is actually happening? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say he got excited, and he never expressly said, hey, I want to marry that dog. CL said that, and CL isn't the authority on all dogs. They don't actually like him that much. So, okay, that's my proof in the whole Pluto isn't attracted to other dogs campaign, which is steadily building up to he's a demon with a human-like intelligence who's just doing this fuck shit, which I need to prove that he has human-like intelligence, and then Pluto will pass the rice purity test. I'm making Pluto less morally wrong, guys. I'm Pluto's #1 defender. I'm ruining Pluto. I just want to defend my girl Angela Blanc, and by extension the best character in all of Black Butler, Ash Landers, but I digress. I think if you could get on a podium and say that your favorite anime-only villain that is honest to God 95% your own headcanons about them, if you could get on your podium and say no, they actually did not have sex with a dog, then I think most of you would be jumping to that podium. Pluto is an anime character. I can't just, talk to him. So I'm gauging Pluto's actual humanity on whether or not he can understand an English command more complex than something you tell a dog. So if someone says something to Pluto that he understands it, that's supporting my theory that Pluto is in fact mentally a human. And he's just really, really into the whole dog shtick. Which I think makes him arguably worse, honestly, because imagine you're a guy and you're doing that around everyone, around children. I'm no purist, but it's wrong. I support kink, but this is really fucking weird. It's a more convincing argument than the other thing, though, so... Not only am I going to gauge whether or not he can follow a command, oh no, I am going to see if he can do it 3 times. 1 time could be a fluke, 2 times is a joke, 3 times, oh yeah, we're cooking up some innocence.
Trophy.
My dogs like to keep their favorite toys, in the yard. They like to bury them. They like to keep them all together. They like to sit on them. Some of them, sometimes they even put them back in the toy bin, but that's usually rare. So I guess that could be dog behavior. But he is using his hands in this scene.
You do know you're sleeping outside.
That's iffy. He could be whimpering because, Sebastian's walking away and he's like, no, we were having fun demon time together. We were bonding. No, he's walking away. So that could have been a distressed whimper where he's like, no, come back. He might not understand the gravity of the fact he's sleeping outside. That being said, that was still Sebastian saying something negative and Pluto having a negative response to it. That would imply that he at least understood what Sebastian said.
I've been waiting for you, Pluto.
I guess he knows his name.
Pluto!
I think he's for real. This goes to show that even if you make a video essay trying to prove a point, if the point isn't there to be proven, then you have to admit when you're wrong sometimes. And I was wrong. He really is just a dog. But wait, through the shining horror of all of this, a beacon of light reaches out to me. This isn't some poor animal who's being taken advantage by some sick angels. Oh no, he's in on it. And I know just the thing to prove it.
I've always had an ear for tunes.
We're called Throw and Sell, and we're like no band you've ever seen before. We're here to bring the music scene to...
I thought to myself, Pluto should stop!
To preface this, the actor's OVA is basically an OVA where they go, what if Black Butler was live action and the characters were real but they played themselves? It's basically every actor's OVA that you and your friends made up when you were 13. There's not a lot of thought put into it, but the decisions that they do make are really, really concerning. I know this is a reach, but the actor's OVA, it's dubiously canon. Because, see, even though they don't, like, all the shit that happens in the show doesn't happen in the actor's OVA, they still keep a lot of very key details the same. For instance, Ciel and Sebastian are still master and butler. There's still implication that Sebastian might be a demon, or might be something, you know, a supernaturally good actor. A lot of the dynamics are exactly the same. Pluto is here, he's in a band. He can speak. He actually has a voice actor. His voice actor is Zach Bolton, and he actually voices Hound Dog, or Ryu Inu, from My Hero Academia, which I it's worth mentioning. It's cute. It's cute. He loves the dog boys. I would also like to preface that in the actor's OVA, demons do exist.
What's this? So, after an interview, are you?
Sorry for the Claude jump scare, but like, yeah, he's got demon powers. He's got demon even if he had to like take a whole class to learn how to tap dance, and even though Sebastian like can't do his own stunts, like they're demons. Something supernatural is going on. Why is Ciel wearing an eye patch? You know what it could be? It could be like the demons have like existed for so long that they're the ones that are kind of controlling the story, and like they're the ones sort of retelling Black Butler in the modern day. Like they were alive when it happened, so they were just finding kid lookalikes for the people. This would be a fun fanfic idea, but it sounds really creepy. I'm sorry, but like, hey, maybe. The point is, in the actor's OVA, which is tangentially linked to the actual series, Pluto can talk, and Pluto is intelligent. Pluto is like, doesn't have the mind of a dog, but he still acts like a dog. So I think it's a him thing.
No! I thought to myself, Pluto should stop!
I thought to myself, Pluto should stop. This has some very interesting implications, because I want to revisit the awful power scaling grid I made, and I want to show you a more touched up version of it that I also made. So okay, here's the deal. We've got all of the demons. I'm counting Angela as a demon because, she's like kind of related. She's like, it's a light fury, night fury situation. So here are the upper demons, and here are the lower demons. Yeah? See that? And only upper demons have been shown to make contracts of people. Sebastian with Ciel, Claude with Eloise, Hannah with Luca, and Ash and Angela with Queen Victoria. I don't care what you have to say. That was definitely a contract, even if they use some different terms. Meanwhile, lower demons only really exist to serve upper demons. For instance, the triplets are only around because they serve Hannah, and Pluto serves Ash and Angela, and he briefly serves Sebastian, but, doesn't anymore. And, okay, here's the issue. The triplets all, they serve Hannah, so they're beneath her. And Claude basically runs on the assumption that Hannah is a lesser demon to him. That is actually incorrect. She's a more powerful demon, but she's biding her time. So, he assumes that, he's on top, but he's actually, they're at about the same level, her maybe being a little higher. Sebastian, he simply went out of a butler. He doesn't need a demon following him around. That being said, the concept of demons, of lesser demons existing has briefly been mentioned when they mention that demons keep pets, and pets look pretty demonic. So perhaps pets are, lesser demons, basically. Now this actually becomes really interesting, because Sebastian is actually subjugated and put in the position of a lesser demon. And that's because Ciel becomes like the new big demon. Like, he controls Sebastian. Sebastian has to do what he says. So Sebastian becomes his lesser demon. So, they're like, Sebastian's a rank lower, and that probably makes him less powerful, especially since he's slowly starving to death. Meanwhile, Pluto would therefore exist as a lesser demon to Ash and Angela. What do lesser demons want, though? Because, think about it, they don't They don't get to eat the souls. They're just sticking around for the hell of it. And of course, you know, if you're a demon forever, I can understand why you'd want to have friends, why you'd get lonely, why you'd need some groupies. That being said, I think that, well, it's been stated that the reason the triplets want to stay around Hannah is because they are attracted to her. They like the way she looks. Pluto did some stuff with Angela, so we have to assume he's attracted to her too, which makes me think, are demons a sex-based matriarchy? I'm just gonna let that thought sit there. Perhaps the only way that demons are able to, you know, actually control, you know, the lower demons, and this does not include these two because they tricked each other. They're completely off the table for this, but do you think part of the reason that demons are able to control other demons is just by being like the most slay, sexy demon there? I'm gonna stop myself right there, but you know, it's kind of interesting that like Hannah and it's kind of interesting that Hannah and Angela have like the same thing going on. Claude gets none of it. And what's something we can observe from that power dynamic? Well, upper demons can give lower demons commands. For instance, Claude was able to send messages down the chain of command to the triplets to tell them to do stuff, namely, shut the hell up. The triplets seemed incapable of denying those orders. The same could be said for Ciel. He's able to tell Sebastian to do whatever he wants him to do. So, I think that feasibly, perhaps, if Pluto is this might sound ridiculous, but we already have lesser demons that are on like about the same level, fairly similar principles. If we had like one scene where the triplets all turned into one giant Cerberus, then I think this theory would carry a lot more weight, but who knows, there are 3 of them. Maybe that was a, you know, maybe that was a planned outcome. I mean, come on, Pluto is like the Roman god of death, and Cerberus is like related to Hades, you know, Greek god of death. Maybe that could have been in some deleted season 2 draft script that we never got to see the light of day, but I digress. Since the triplets have to listen to orders given to them by upper demons, and they have to listen, perhaps Ash and Angela decided, no, see, we are trying to burn down all of London, we're trying to do our thing. And what if, you know, what if he was in on it? What if, like, him and Ash and Angela all agreed beforehand that they were gonna do all of this fuck shit? The only way that they could keep Pluto, who, no offense to him, but it doesn't seem like he's got a very good eye for tact. What if the only way that they could make sure that he doesn't cause any shit is if they just tell him to act like a dog? Like, it's not that he's going silent like the triplets, that's suspicious, but if everyone just thinks he's a harmless dog, they'll never assume what happens. They'll never assume that he's gonna hurt anyone, and then he does. And, you know, if the servants had been able to disarm Pluto, then Ash and Angela's scheme to burn down all of London would have gone off without a hitch. One thing I've noticed about demons is that they are stronger as a group. Claude has very few fights where it's just him. Usually he has the triplets backing him up, or at least Hannah and her guns acting as a sort of standby. Because the moment that Ash and Angela no longer have Pluto, that's when they get their ass handed to them. So, yeah. Pluto knew all of this from the beginning. He's been scheming, he's been planning, he's got a conscious human mind, and now I want you to keep that in mind. I mean, it's practically in the text. He's slipped into the story effortlessly through a letter from the Queen which controls Ash and Angela. They're deployed out to that town. They meet him. They see him intentionally. Angela intentionally sends him after them. He's there on pretty much every single important instance. And then he betrays them in the end. Who's to say that Pluto hasn't been planted from the very beginning, ready to take the Phantom Hives down? He just had to fetish his way into doing it. Thank you for coming to my, yeah. Thank you everyone who watched this thing. Thank you for letting me put your faces in your voices and whatever. Except for you, Danny. I love your videos, but I did not know how to get a hold of you, and I do not want to download Twitter, so if this ever ends up on your feed, sorry. Anyway, thank you everyone else for watching. Anyway, I have a college assignment to do, so bye.